The NAACP is the country's oldest civil rights organization, and Airbnb, the world's leading hospitality company, are teaming up to spread the economic benefits of home sharing and touring to communities of color. The partnership will focus on a series of commitments: community outreach and education, revenue sharing, a diverse employee base, and supplier diversity. The partnership comes amid accusations of discrimination against minorities by Airbnb hosts that include guests being denied accommodations because they are black. The interim president and CEO of the NAACP, Derek Johnson, said, quote, "This is groundbreaking partnership with Airbnb will help bring new jobs and economic opportunities to our communities. Airbnb's commitment to that goal is a tremendous step in the right direction for Silicon Valley to open its doors to African Americans and other communities." Joining us is Director of National Partnerships for Airbnb, Janae Ingram. Of course, our panel is still with us as well. So, Janae, when this report was done, we had the woman who did the report, Eric Holder, also. Of course, his expertise was used. And so, has there been any other partnership like this in terms of an actual revenue share?
No, this is the first time that we have ever done a revenue sharing agreement. And it seemed like the NAACP would be a great partner to do that. Obviously, they are the longest and oldest civil rights organization in the country. They have branches in pretty much every city, state chapters and affiliations in every state. And so, NAACP was the group that we felt like we could do this with.
And how will this revenue sharing work? How will the partnership work?
So some of the deals of the partnership are still being worked out. We have to still do a little bit of meeting with the NAACP to figure out how it will work on the ground. But we've identified, we're in the process of identifying 5 cities that we will sort of target for this program. And basically what will happen is we'll do a series of outreach and educational events, which you mentioned, targeting communities of color to talk about Airbnb and the economic opportunity that exists. I think there's a lot of people who don't necessarily understand that. How hosting can be another way to earn extra income that can either help you stay in your home, pay your bills, things of that nature. And so we want to really have these conversations with communities of color and let them know that this is an option for them.
Now, is revenue sharing with those select cities?
Yes.
Just okay.
So it will be with whatever cities we decide on, mutually agree on. It will be in those cities where NAACP helps us identify new hosts that they will see a percentage, 20% of what we earn from those hosts.
So what's the cap on cities? Just 5?
It's 5 cities. We're starting out at 5. We anticipate that this will be a longer term partnership, but we're starting out with 5 cities that we agree on and starting there. So
it won't be existing Airbnb customers. It will actually be any new customers. Yes. Now, any new customers driven by the NAACP, or just any new customers who sign up after a particular date in those cities?
I think it most likely will be any new customers that sign up in the city.
Well, let me ask this question. One of the concerns I have is, when does this move from being reactionary to proactive? It seems as though this is a reactionary move based on some bad press. When does it move to being more of a proactive move where African Americans can see more opportunity behind the keyboard when it comes to programming, when it comes to their product management as well as program management? What's the next phase of this so that it's not just something that's going to gloss over the PR nightmare that this has been for Airbnb and something that will truly build jobs and build careers for African Americans?
Well, I appreciate your question, and I'm here to tell you this is not something that is reactionary. This is something that it has been happening for quite a bit of time. Just because we're now coming out with the announcement, I understand why people would say, oh my gosh, this is them just trying to cover up the work that they've done. I've been on this show numerous times, not in a role as from Airbnb. I've been an activist, I've been fighting and an advocate for the community, and the thing that drew me to Airbnb was a surprise to me. I probably was a little skeptical as well. Upon learning about the company and talking to people inside of the company, what I can say is the company is very genuine in their desire to not be a place where discrimination happens. The mission for Airbnb is to create a world where anyone can belong anywhere. And so in that comes the opportunity for people to host on the site, comes the prevention of discrimination. And lots of efforts have been made over the past year to work on that. This is another step in that direction. To your point about creating more opportunity, that's part of the NAACP agreement as well, that they will help us with recruiting and supplier diversity, things that the company has outlined is a priority for them. In every meeting that we have with our CEO, he outlines that diversity and ensuring that everyone can have a seat at the table is a priority, and it's something that's consistent.
Do we know what the NBC Black piece referenced a hiring goal?
Yes.
So do we know what the numbers are for African Americans at Airbnb right now in terms of who's employed at Airbnb?
I don't know those numbers right offhand, but there is a report that people can find online that has those numbers. I believe in terms of African Americans, we're somewhere between 2 and 2.5%.
That's sort of typical in Silicon Valley.
Typical in Silicon Valley.
Is there a goal that you guys are trying to hit along with the help of the NAACP, or is there?
There's a general goal. So there's a general diversity goal of 11% by the end of 2017.
Okay.
That goal has been publicly stated, and we are working toward that every day. The company has. One of the things that the company has done over the past year is instituted sort of the Rooney Rule, which basically says that you have to have a diverse slate of candidates that come in for one of the final sets of interviews, the in-person interviews. And so that's another thing that we've done to ensure that there's diversity.
Quick question.
I'm loving the new product model that you guys are putting forth there. Have other companies or I guess other senior diversity officers reached out to you about what you guys are doing, and the potential of maybe copying the model and applying it to their company?
I don't know if no one has reached out to me specifically. I have heard, however, that in some Silicon Valley meetings, people have referenced, how can we do what Airbnb is doing? And by no means does that mean that we think that we are the model. We still have a lot of work to do, and that's what this partnership will help us sort of move toward.
All right, then, Janae, we appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh, my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no. That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong.
Unfiltered.
He wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.